Hey everyone, it's Kathy here with Virtually Strings. Normally when I do lessons or video tutorials, we're usually mainly doing the instruments. But today I want to do something a little bit different. And that's because I want to look a little bit more about our body. This is something that I know a lot of teachers are starting to get into a little bit more. But I want to really heavily focus on it, and for a lot of reasons. First of all, I've had several injuries over the years, and I've had to learn how to do certain things to make it to where I can still be able to play. I've had other kids, other students who've had situations where they've literally had to stop playing the violin because of how inflamed their hand was. So we want to talk a little bit about different things that we can do to help make sure that we're able to play up until we're like 80s, 90s, 100s, up until basically until you die. I want to make sure you clarify also, I am not a doctor, I am not a physical therapist, I am not a chiropractor, I'm not any of those right there. So be sure that you also make sure that if you need to, if you have any kind of physical ailment, you might need to consult with the doctor first before you do any of these things first. Let's go ahead and talk about the first one. This happened, I was in a wreck about a couple of years ago, and this is one of the techniques that they suggested I do. It's called a head four-way. And what you're going to do is you're going to take one of your arms, in this case your left arm, you're going to put it behind. And what you'll do is you'll take your hand right up here, you're going to pull your arm down, your head down in front of you for about like 5 seconds. And then you'll come back up. Then you're going to tilt your head this way to the side, and then just stretch it gently for about 5 seconds and release. Then you're going to bring your head up to the side, tilt it, and then again. Okay. So again, you have it go straight across like this is one, and then the next one is like where you have it like that. So you're just pulling that muscle in different ways. And then the last part of it is what I call the Michael Jackson, and you'll see what you're going to go down. For about 4. And then you'll just do the same thing with the opposite hand. You'll put your right hand behind it, and then you'll just do that. And what they tell me to do with this particular one is you do this particular exercise about 3 or 4 times. Okay, so for this next one, what you're going to do is you're going to need to be at a door. You're going to put your arm right here where it's like the elbow up to about the wrist. It's touching it, and it's probably going to be in about a 90-degree angle. And you're just going to pull forward, lean forward, just like that. So you're leaning forward for about like 5 to 10 seconds. And then you'll do the same with the opposite arm. Lean forward for about like 5 to 10 seconds. Now, if you're in a smaller, narrow doorway, you can do it with both arms pulling forward. But if you're in a wider doorway or you don't have access to something like that, then just do one side first and then the other side. These next exercises are actually going to be dealing with the hands, so that's why I have it in this position. What you're going to do, first of all, is you're going to isolate your hand. Just like that. I'm skipping the middle finger for a reason, to keep it kid-friendly. But you want to isolate all your fingers just like that. Now, you can do the same thing, but in reverse. Where you're isolating your fingers in reverse, just like that. This is just kind of stretching your fingers. Okay, so these are the last 2 hand techniques I'm going to show you. The first one is where you're going to just gently pull it away. You're not going to push it away completely hard, but just gently press it away from each other, just like that. And what you're doing is you're doing it until you find it starts to resist. And it's just to kind of get your hands used to not being right next to each other when you're playing the violin, viola, cello, or piano, or even like the guitar, or any other instruments where you have to move your fingers a lot. Okay, and this is also probably be good for people who play brass instruments as well, or even wind instruments. And that's because a lot of times your hands are going to get cramped up, and so you want to be able to uncramp them. Then you want to be able to also kind of stretch your wrists just like that. So you would just do things like that. Okay. So these are all different suggestions that I have for stretching your body, just to make sure that you're able to play up until you're who knows how old you are. But again, remember, I am not a doctor, so you need to ask for medical consultation with any of these stretches right here. Again, I am not a doctor. Make sure you do a medical consultation with any of these exercises before you do them, especially if you have any kind of physical disabilities. All right. Again, this is Kathy. Hopefully this will help you. If you are a doctor or a chiropractor or anybody else who deals with things like this, such as a physical therapist, leave down some suggestions below for everybody of what things you think you would also be helpful for keeping the body flexible and movable. All right, y'all have a great day. See you. As always, like, subscribe, and share this video with others.